everyone. I have had an interesting start to my morning. We were without electricity for 2 hours. So my plans for doing a video kind of got pushed back. And the video that I wanted to do today was about eagle's eye sweaters that I have been talking about probably during the entire time that I've done videos for past 7 years on YouTube. I said that I would show my eagle's eye sweater collection. And it's not huge, but I do have some collectible sweaters that people who knew about eagle's eye. It was in the 1990s. It's very popular. The sweaters ranged in price back at that time anywhere from $98 to $200, $250. And so they were rather pricey. And I only got them, for birthdays, Christmas, various holidays during the year. I don't know what made me fall in love with them other than the artistry of them, the hand knit quality, and I just thought they were cool. They were just special and cool. Some of them were made out of wool. I chose the ones made out of cotton because I just don't need the extra heat. So what I'm going to show you are purchases that I didn't necessarily buy myself. Like I said, they came from my husband, sometimes my sister. Sometimes I would get money for my birthday and I would save up and I would invest in these eagle eye sweaters. It was called The Eagle's Eye, all lowercase letters. So where did this company originate? When I used to read about it, I found a lot of information. When I looked for it today, there's very little information, but I'll tell you what I found out and what I know. So the company was started by a man named J.CREW Birch. And the name Birch might sound really familiar to you because of Tory Burch. And I have shown you my purchases that I've done. And very interesting. She was married to this man. I think he was her first husband. Not sure about that. Might need to look it up for sure. But they were married for a short period of time, and he helped her start her company. So she's connected in a roundabout way to Eagle's Eye Sweaters because she was married to the man who created the company. So this information that I'm getting it's called The Business Jet Traveler, and it was an article written by Margie Goldsmith in July of 2015. So it starts out, billionaire Chris Birch sold sweaters door to door to fellow students at Ithaca College, and that turned out to be his first step on the road to becoming a billionaire. As founder and CEO of Birch Creative Capital, entrepreneur and investor J.CREW Birch has helped to establish companies in the fashion, hospitality, and technology industries. Along with his then wife, fashion designer Tory Burch, he co-founded Tory Burch LLC in 2004, and he continues to be a large shareholder in that company. And this is as of 2015. Don't know about now. His other investments include a trademark, a clothing business launched by his daughters, a fashion line created with Ellen DeGeneres, and a Nihiwatu resort in Indonesia. Alif, which owns Jawbone, I don't know what that is, maker of Bluetooth headsets and speakers and fitness trackers, and Poppin, which manufactures and sells office supplies. He was born and raised in Pennsylvania. They said he was a terrible student. He couldn't focus, couldn't read, was last in his elementary class, and the problem was severe attention deficit disorder, which was not diagnosed back at that time. And both of his parents were told that their son had a wandering mind and that they should limit their hopes for his future. When he was 14, however, his parents managed to get him into the Tilton Prep School in New Hampshire, and the rest is history. Let's see. When he was in junior high, his father put him to work in a construction in construction after school and during the summer. Birch was a small, scrawny kid, and he spent his days pushing heavy wheelbarrows, and he concluded that there had to be an easier way to make a living. So while an undergrad at Ithaca College in 1976, he decided to sell preppy girls' sweaters door to door on campus. So with his brother and a $2,000 investment, Birch started an apparel company, Eagle's Eye. Eagle was his father's nickname. The operation expanded and the brothers sold it to the UK-based Swire Group in a deal that concluded in 1998, and that valued the business at $60 million. And since that, Birch has spent nearly 40 years as an investor, an entrepreneur, and he has participated in the rise of more than 50 companies and has built a personal fortune that is estimated at $1 billion. So that was the interview that was given several years ago about J. Christopher Birch. And that's what I found out about the Eagle's Eye sweaters. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to show you what I have and why I love them, which I kind of have already told you. But anyway, they're kind of cool. Now, because my electricity was off, I did not get to wash my hair. I was going to wash my hair and really look much nicer. I wasn't supposed to wash my hair until tomorrow anyway, but I just was going to so that I would have a fresh look. So bear with me. I do have makeup on. I did get that done in the dark. I had to use flashlights, but anyway, things didn't quite turn out like, you know, life goes on. So on with the show, as they say, because you just deal with it and you move on. All right, so let's look at some Eagle's Eye sweaters. So this is what the sweaters look like. This is one of my favorites. It's a little teddy bear sweater, and it is hand knit throughout all the way around. And even at the bottom, there is special details. Even the buttons are sweater yarn covered. They're just unique, they're different, and very artistic to me, and I guess that's why I kind of got into them. So I'm going to show you as many as I can, and I'm also going to talk about some other sweaters that were similar to them, which I probably think they probably banked off of Eagle's Eye sweaters, got ideas. You know, we all do that. I get ideas for my jewelry from Sundance catalogs. So, you know, companies started up and started making sweaters that were similar. So I just think it's kind of an interesting thing, how it got started, where it came from, how it's associated with Tory Burch in a roundabout way. So this one I've already shown. I got this on eBay, I think. It was either eBay or Poshmark. Here is what the Eagle's Eye label looks like. And I read, as I saw the fabric content, that it was made in China. So, you know, it wasn't even made in the United States. But this was the Christmas sweater that I wore for Christmas this year, and I really enjoyed it. And it was kind of an addition to my collection so far. All right, you have to remember that I have been married now. It will be 44 years in June. And so this tub collection, I've got 5 tubs, are sweaters that I have collected, which I don't think that's just a horrible amount. It could have been a lot more. But I'm going to get off of Eagle's Eye for just a second, because I thought, well, while I'm in my Christmas tub, which is in front of me here, I'll show my Christmas collection of sweaters that sort of went off from Eagle's Eye and the different companies that sort of tried to copy. So this company was called PBJ Sport, and again, teddy bears, and they've got lights going around the sweater. Very, very cute. And even on the sleeve, there is lights going on. Nothing on the back of this one, I don't think. Nope. And then this one came from Belle Point, and that is the other company that I'm going to talk a lot about in the town where I used to live. And there was a lady who I worked for a while during my 7 years of staying out with Suzanne, and she had a clothing store, and she carried Belle Point, and they also were very much similar to Eagle's Eye sweaters, not quite as pricey, but just as cute. So this is one that I would wear for Christmas. And then this one is by a company called Signatures by Northern Isles. Knitted by hand is what this one says. And it is Christmas carolers standing in front of a village scene and a Christmas tree. And then on the sleeve, you've got details of a tree. So back at that time, when I was teaching school, and I was teaching kindergarten, every subject that I taught, every unit that we did, everything that I introduced to my little kindergartners, I would wear a sweater or an outfit or something that would go along with whatever I was teaching. Again, I know that's kind of crazy and silly, but that's how I constructed my wardrobe. It went by the units of study that I taught in kindergarten and then later first grade. So while you see all these numerous sweaters, not only were they for my enjoyment, but they had a purpose because I would wear them. Like during Christmas, I wore a different sweater every day. And of course the kids, some of them noticed and some of them enjoyed it. And it was just me. That was Mrs. Strother. That was my thing, to wear unusual clothing. All right, so moving on to other things that I have collected. Not a Christmas sweater, but you may remember seeing it in one of my hauls from an estate sale. This one is by, let's see, designed by Philip and Jane Gordon. Design Options is what it was by. And it was a Thanksgiving or autumn sweater. And yes, I did wear it for Thanksgiving. And look at the details on the sleeves. Crazy. Anyway, very, very Eagle's Eye inspired. And then, coming over to the other side, there is a little sweater. And actually, this was Suzanne's. And it got passed to me because she didn't want it anymore. And it is a Marissa Christina design. But again, it's that same unique sweater design that was popular back in the 90s. This one also came from an estate sale. It is by a company called the Quaker Factory, and it's for Easter. So it's got the little Easter bunny, tulips, various flowers and butterflies, and a chenille type finish to it on the bottom sleeve and around the cardigan area where it buttons and around the neckline. So very cute. Also from an estate sale. This one is another Design Options, which is the same company that designed the Harvest Autumn one. And it is purses, hats, gloves, shoes, just nutty. It's unbelievable. Suzanne, my daughter, always absolutely hated this sweater. And she would be so embarrassed when I would wear it because it's just in your face. But again, it's just one that I cannot get rid of. I can't remember if there's anything on the back or not. Let me see. Oh dear, there is. A purse, a boot, a hat, and a shoe. But look, the leopard print shoes are in today. So I have no problem wearing these. Even though she shudders when I do. And even on the sleeve, you've got a little purse here and a glove. And over here on the other side, a little purse in a different color and a glove. There's sequins on here. There's buttons. There's chains. It's just out of this world nuts. But I love it. It's just so much fun. So those are some of the Christmas sweaters. And here are a few. What I started doing was getting more into Belle Point because they were less expensive than Eagle's Eye and they had the same look. This one is a vest with gingerbread houses and all sorts of stuff on it. And then on the back, it has a Christmas tree. So cute. Now these I have not had out in years. Why? I don't know, because I think I could go ahead and wear them. And maybe this type of thing will come back. I've seen it coming back in sweatshirts a little bit. Sweatshirts are a lot more patterned than they used to be, I've noticed. And it's getting more and more like the ridiculousness of the eagle's eye, just stuff everywhere. So anyway, Belle Point. And this one kind of has a brushed effect to it. I had forgotten how soft that was, but anyway, it's kind of pretty. This one was Suzanne's. She didn't want it anymore. It's also a Belle Point, and it is a vest. And it also has something on the back. And here is the back side. Just little Christmas trees everywhere. This one is also a Belle Point. It was one of my favorites, and I would wear it to church because of the angels. So stars and angels. And a lot of the sizes were either large or extra large. It just kind of depended. They were a little inconsistent in their sizing. I think it's difficult to get sweaters all, the same size. This one was a Belle Point, mittens and snowflakes. Lots of details, beads, pearls, sequins, all kinds of stuff. Were they washable? Yes, I did wash them in, of course, you could hand wash them, delicate wash them in a bag. I always put them in a bag, and then I would let them dry. Never in the dryer, of course. And on the back, let's see if there's a back. Okay, the back on this one has Santa in his very fancy outfit. Wow, I had forgotten some of these. This is kind of fun for me to see them again. And then the last one in Belle Point was this church. And again, this one went to church with me many, many times. Or I wore it to church many, many times just because of the way it was. And it actually had a matching turtleneck that went under it that had the same snowflakes. And I'll show you that in just a second. So the back on this one has 2 turtle doves. So here was the sweatshirt, or here was the turtleneck that went with it. And the turtleneck, when you fold it down, had the doves and the snowflakes. So, you're heavily decked out when you're wearing these styles of sweaters. If you're interested in how I store them, I turn them over on the back. I fold each sweater arm across each other, and then I pull up the bottom of the sweater, and it neatly goes into the storage box very nicely. Even Talbots jumped on board back in that time, and this was a cute kite sweater that I would wear for spring with little ribbons and bows. And today bows are popular, so I think this one would be just fine to wear right now. All right, we're going to get back into Eagle's Eye for a minute. This one was super popular back in the day because it had Pillsbury best cooking with cookies, cakes, and pies. I mean, literally the Pillsbury label. And this one was, I guess, sort of for spring because of the basket of flowers and the cherry picking and the cherry pies and all that sort of thing. But look at the buttons on this part. Crazy. And then look at the sleeves with cooking. Home cooking was on the sleeve. My goodness. I guess the other sleeve was exactly the same. Home cooking. Yep. Crazy. And then on the back, a sweet little house, 2-story house with the chimney puffing hearts as it goes up. Absolutely adorable. And this one also had a turtleneck to match with it. And it had the Pillsbury Doughboy on it with Pillsbury's best flour and the pink hearts. Is that not crazy? So I don't know if he had to pay, you know, some sort of commission or whatever they call it to the Pillsbury Company in order to use this. I'm sure they did, but that was one of the big ones back in the day. This one I remember wearing for Veterans Day in November with the red, white, and blue Liberty Bell flag, Americana type sweater. And again, you can see the eagle's eye label. And even the sleeves, heavily decorated on both sides. The collar, very few of them had a collar like this, but this was literally one that you could wear almost like a coat. It was very, very warm. And then on the back, it almost looked like quilting squares with the American flag. Goodness, what memories it brings back. This one was my harvest sweater. When it started getting cold in October and November, I would wear this one when we would talk about the farm at school with the pigs and the pumpkins and the vegetable display. Apples by the bushel, golden apples, and then on the sleeve, different kinds of apples, clouds in the sky. And then on the back, a hay wagon with barrels of apples and apple trees in the background. Lots and lots of detail. And just FYI, as I feel the texture of even this turtleneck, it's so much more substantial than the clothing that we buy today. It was just made so well back at that time. I don't think I showed the back of the Talbot's kite sweater. So here's the back of it. And you know, I definitely think I will pull this out in March and wear it just because of the bow thing, because, you know, the bows are so popular. You may wonder, well, why don't you just wear a lot of them? I actually have. Through the years, I have pulled some out every once in a while. And every time I do, somebody says something about them. They're just very vintage and unique and different. All right, moving on. This is also a Belle point. And to me, it looks a little small. I might have to try this on and see if it still fits. But it was very cute for spring and short sleeves instead of the long sleeve. And I'm not sure if it has anything on the back. No, it's just plain all the way on the back. All right, just out of curiosity, I wanted to see if I could still wear it, and yeah, I can. It's really bigger than it looked laying on the bed. So yeah, I can wear it. Would I wear it? I don't know. But back in the day, when we were talking about insects in my class, this was a hit. There's also one by Belle Point. It was a vest. And I would wear this one when we would talk about Mexico. It was perfect for Mexico. On the back, the serape look continued. Sorry, I'm kind of just going down my tubs and not trying to separate Eagle's Eye, Belle Point, and all of the others because of the way I had them arranged in my boxes. So excuse me for jumping around on the brands. This one was by Sharon Young. You may know about that sportswear. It was also kind of pricey. And remember now, a lot of these things I would get on sale. They were not always purchased full price. It kind of depended on my funds at the time. This one was for spring. All right, we're back to Eagle's Eye on this one. And it was all about seasonings and foods to complement meals. And even it came with a t-shirt. Came with it, probably not. I'm sure I had to purchase it separately. But the little t-shirt had rosemary, thyme, parsley, and basil. And y'all, look at the buttons. Pea pods, pimentos, onions, and another little pea pod down here at the bottom. And then I think when you bought them, you would get an extra one of these buttons. I can't remember exactly, but it seems like that's what it came with. And then here is the back. Herb garden with a little birdhouse. So sweet. Would I wear this one? I sure might. I think it's really, really cute. All right, let's go back to Eagle's Eye for a minute. This is a vest. Cherries and daisies. And I think the back just, continues the same pattern. I remember really liking this one for spring and early summer. How about a backyard barbecue? Yes, this one was my cookout vest, and it was made by Belle Point. Look at the corn and the barbecue grill, and look at the buttons. Hot dogs. And then on the back, tools for the barbecue chef, an apron and a hat, slice of watermelon, and it looks like they're going to be making s'mores. And look at, I forgot to show you this, the iced tea with the lemon. Oh my word. So many sweet memories. All right, we're back to Eagle's Eye again, and Mackenzie Childs would love this one. I also wore this when we were talking about farm and ranch and things like that. There's the Eagle's Eye label. Oh my word. And look what's on there. The buttons are actually underneath, but on top there are bells, and they don't jingle too bad. They are working bells, but they don't jingle too bad. So it wasn't too crazy when I wore it. But can you imagine doing some sort of little luncheon or something and having Mackenzie Childs wear that she has, and having a little brunch or something with the ladies? How cute would this be? And then on the back, we've got the big red barn and more Jersey cows. And then on the back, a little bell. Oh my goodness. This one was a Talbot, and yes, I have worn this before in the spring. It has some linen in it, which makes it a little bit cooler. And there's the Talbot's label. This was an extra large, and it's the same on the back. It just carries the clouds all the way through the back. But I think I probably love this one because of the blues, but it has been on some trips with me before. I just love it. Back to Eagle's Eye, and can you imagine a person who lives in Texas going nuts over this? And yes, in kindergarten we had a unit on the state of Texas, and here was our yellow rose, the cactus, the cowboy boots and hats and rope, and hot chili peppers. And look at the buttons. Oh my stars. How cute is that? And let's take a look at the back. And just to prove that it's Eagle's Eye, here is the label. And we've got the state of Texas, Lone Star State. And believe it or not, I would wear this with a broomstick calico red and black skirt when we would study Texas. Now, can you imagine seeing that? Just picture that in your mind. I truly had more fun when I was teaching kindergarten. And then, of course, being a teacher, I had to have the alphabet teacher sweater. Oh my goodness. This one was so much fun. And even on the sleeve, it has a cuff and letters on each side. Adorable. Yes, I wore this one a lot. And on the back, a continuation of the letters of the alphabet. Is it the entire alphabet? I guess it is. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. They're all there. This one was by Sharon Young, and it was great for Thanksgiving with the pumpkins and the pears and the Native American symbols. And I do remember wearing this when we would talk about Native Americans. And then on the back, it's got the same, motif. So I won't turn it over and show you that. But this one was a zip vest. And I do remember having a skirt to go with this. but I no longer have the skirt. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if I don't know. There is no telling, but it did have a skirt that matched the ensemble. One that was by Cambridge Dry Goods, which was also a really nice company back at that time. Established in 1979, can you imagine? Ramie cotton and just a little bit of wool. And I wore this one when we talked about Native Americans. I would not allow my kids to say Indians because Indians was not true. And we talked all about, you know, Christopher Columbus thought he was in India. So when he got off, saw the natives and then called them Indians. Nope, nope, nope. They were Native Americans. No design on the back of this one, just denim blues. But I really remember liking this little vest a lot. This is in here, but I'm going to show you because I found it. I guess it was in the school tub for a reason, but this is a little outfit that I made Suzanne when she was little, and I would take scraps of fabric in my old Singer sewing machine and go over, you know, I would go around these and outline them with sewing thread. And then they had Crayola fabric, and I would cut them out, use a special, it was an adhesive sheer sheet that you could put on the back of the fabric and then put the iron on it, and it would adhere to the fabric that you wanted it to be on. Anyway, these were pockets. How cute is that? And then this was the vest that I made her. And it's even got apple buttons. So, like on the first day of school, I forced her to wear this. She probably was horrified. I don't know back then, but you know, she was during the time of when Eagle's Eye was popular. So she was born in 87. So during the 90s, you know, when she was in first grade, kindergarten, second grade, and so forth, this was okay. A lot of kids wore stuff like this. So yes, her mother made this. Oh my word. Oh, this is going to make me want to cry. So Suzanne, if you watch my video, you might come across this someday and go, oh my goodness, my mother made this when I was going to school. Look, I even did a different color of fabric for the hedges of greenery that are surrounding the school, and little doorknobs that are brass buttons, and a little school bell at the top. My goodness. Okay, this is also a vest. It was by Belle Point with the palm trees. And oh my goodness, yes, it had pants that you could buy to complement the outfit. But can you see wearing this on a cruise? Would that not be really cute? Or if you were traveling to Florida? I think it would be cute. Not bad. Let me see if there's anything on the back. One lonely palm tree on the back. And I will tell you that I wore this when in kindergarten we were talking about the ocean and the seas, and we did do a few days on Hawaii. Beginning of the year, September, I had to have my apple vest to wear in the first month of school. This one was also by Belle Point, and the apples, of course, extended on the back. And the fun thing about this one is that while the sweater vest is, you know, plain sweater cotton material, the apples themselves were chenille. So that was kind of cool. And of course, apple buttons. Of course, the apples continued on the back. And these were also good for, like, you know, adding. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. You know, I just, you know, whatever I could get them to understand and what I would wear, that's what we would do. This one was a Marissa Christina. I used to look for Marissa Christina a lot. I didn't have a ton because they were also kind of pricey. But as you can see, they are hand knitted. And this one also had chenille yarn for the leaves. But look at the little pockets with a leaf button and leaf buttons on the vest. And of course the pattern was the same on the back. It continued with the leaves. Now this one was Suzanne's, but of course she didn't want it, so I'm keeping it. And it's just little teddy bears in different costumes. How fun that would be, maybe for a birthday party. But it was by a company named Berer, B-E-R-E-R collection, Ramie and Cotton. This was the front. And you know, a lonely bear turned with his back and orange pockets. Now this one I would wear sometimes for Planet Earth when we were talking about Earth, but I also wore it for Christmas around the world. And it was a Belle Point little vest. And you can see how well that would match for Christmas and around the world, and even Mexico and Native Americans. So it just kind of followed up with what we had been talking about. Because I think we did Mexico first, and then we did Christmas around the world. There's the back. This one was also when we talked about the sea, even though it was a little more tropical, cruise inspired. But can you imagine my little kindergarten kids learning to read these words with the pictures to help them out? How fun is that? And this one was also a Marissa Christina. Sequins, special details. Now the buttons on this one are not anything neat. They're just little tiny black buttons. And let's see what's on the back. Only down at the bottom. Relax. All right, we are finally back to Eagle's Eye. And y'all, this was one of my favorites. And you'll see why in a minute on the back. Lemonade. A lemonade stand. How adorable. And there's our Eagle's Eye label. And look at the buttons. Slices of lemon, whole lemons, and lemonade. So the person who had this company, I'm just amazed by the different sweaters that they came up with. And y'all, this is such a small part of the Eagle's Eye collection. So if you're interested in it, if you think it's kind of cool, look them up. POSHMARK, eBay, Etsy. You can find them everywhere. And they're not as pricey as they used to be. Like, you know, the one I bought was, I think it was $44. I'm not sure. And maybe it's $38. Yeah, $38. And the one that I have my eyes on right now is $44. And I'm still debating about it. But we shall see. Okay, let's look at the back. All right, we had to have a lemonade stand, didn't we? With a bicycle and a little pet. And even the little girl with her yarn hair. Look at her face and her little bows. And the umbrella with, look how this is done. Oh, my word. Tree with the birdhouse and the sun. This one was great for May as we were getting close to summer. This one was by Belle Point, and nothing really special about it other than it just looks like quilt patches, squares, you know. I don't really remember what I wore it for particularly. You know, perhaps spring, I guess. I don't know. Let's take a look at the back. Same little squares, nothing really different. I might have worn it for during Valentine's because of the hearts that were in the squares. Could have been, because there's a heart in that one too. So yeah, it was probably during February. It's Eagle's Eye again. This one was frogs with lily pads. And the neat thing about this vest is that it actually had a collar, which was unusual. And I must have worn this one a lot, because it has a little bit more wear to it. I remember having to be pretty careful about the washing, because, you know, when you wash sweaters, they begin to lose color quickly. And I had not learned about the trick where you add a little bit of vinegar to your wash water to keep it from, losing color quite as quickly. And look at the frog buttons. And I don't remember if there's anything on the back of this one. Let's see. No, okay. Mr. Frog is catching a fly. Look at that tongue. So I'm going to leave you with my last piece. This is also from Eagle's Eye, and it had a t-shirt to match the little vest. And you know, the t-shirt could easily be worn today. It was just a little flower wagon, like they were selling flowers. But I remember this being one of my favorites. And wait until you see the vest. And here's the little vest that went over it. Just lots of flowers, perfect for spring. Cute little buttons that had, I guess you would say gathered, stitched flowers. And each one was a different color. And then on the back is probably the showpiece of the whole thing. Oh my goodness, what a journey. If you're curious about how I store these in my closet, I just lay them on their side and they just easily go from front to back there. And I have one more tub right here, but it's got my workout clothes in it, so I keep it to the front. And then the Christmas ones are closer to the front as well, because I do sometimes get those out and wear those. But as arranged in my closet, you know, this is my closet here, and this is where they go down at the bottom. So it's not too bad of a way to store them. Could be better, but it's what I go with right now. So that is my vintage sweater collection that I wore during the 80s and 90s and early 2000s when I was still teaching school. So can you imagine me shopping and looking for things that would go along with units of study? We truly did back at that time have a lot of fun with our kids. We did units of study that incorporated math and language and phonics and science and history, and you know, everything in the unit was geared toward that particular whatever it was we were studying, but we still had time to do the important things, of course, the math and the language and the reading and the phonics, but we certainly did have fun with our units. And you know, I don't think they teach that way. And one of the reasons that I stopped teaching was the state of Texas was pulling in a program that they called C-Scope. And C-Scope literally told the teachers what to teach, how to teach, when to teach it, and how much. And it was getting away from things that made teaching fun for me. So that's sort of why I got out of that and I got into art, because I got to go back to my old stomping grounds of being an art teacher, which was my dream to begin with. But the nice thing about it was teaching kindergarten and first grade, I still got to keep the art sense with me. I got to do a lot of art projects with my kiddos, because all of the art projects that we would do, you know, went along with the unit of study that we were in. So we made all sorts of stuff and did all sorts of neat, fun things that I remember. And someday maybe I can talk about that too, you know. But anyway, an old teacher, a retired teacher, and her fun vintage clothes. I hope that you enjoyed this. I enjoyed going through the tubs. I haven't been through them probably I got into them after I retired, maybe 7 years ago. I don't know, because I was looking and trying to decide what I was going to keep and what I was going to get rid of. And I did get rid of a lot of Belle Point things. There was a lady in the town that I used to live in who liked that sort of thing. And so I sold them to her in a garage sale for not much. But it was kind of impossible to keep everything. So I really kind of just kept my favorites. Now, will I still be keeping them? I don't know. They don't have the same meaning to me as they once did. And even though I enjoyed them, I don't know that I'll be pulling them out to wear them. Maybe I should. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Would you wear these? Would you wear them today? The styles of today are not nearly as eclectic as these things were, and kind of over the top details. But for the time and for the purpose that they served, I really enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun with them. So if you like these kind of videos where I'm showing you what I have, not to say, oh, look, but to just to show you, I enjoy seeing what people collect and what they like. And I'm thinking of doing a purse collection. If you'd like to see that, let me know. Like Disney purses, Coach purses, Dooney and Burke purses, just purses that don't have a label, but I love them. I know Suzanne, my daughter, is doing a purse collection, and we actually kind of gave each other that idea. We were talking about it, but she took off with it first, so you may see hers first, and of course ours would be different, so it would be fun to see mine and hers. So check out her channel when you have time. It's linked below in my description box. And she's a lot of fun too. She's a teacher, art teacher, and has a blast with clothes and shoes and sunglasses and purses and jewelry. And, you know, we just enjoy the fashion scene. And it's just something to keep us busy. And, you know, it's just our thing. It's just our thing. I had always thought, wouldn't it be fun to work in like a vintage clothing store or an antique store or some type of thrift store and just wear some of these things, and how cute that would be to wear vintage clothing and work in a place that has vintage items. So it's just a thought, and I've always dreamed of, you know, having a store. Money's not there though to start a store, but you know, and just have vintage items that people want to come in and you know, furnish their homes and wear to it for a special occasion, or have some sort of party that they go to where they need a vest that has a lemonade stand on it. I mean, you know, there's all sorts of things that you could do. So just thinking, just thoughts, just a dream. As an art person, I have dreams all the time, so it's okay. Dreams are fun, and it's neat to think about them. Thank you for joining me in this fun video of vintage things, vintage sweaters. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do some more. So good day, and God bless.